Hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Um, so anyone who registered will receive the recordings as well. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask. You can type in your question into the chat box, or also you can unmute yourself. Cool. So the topic for today is abuse, especially um, what does it mean breaking out of the prison of abuse? And also, what is the effect of abuse, let's say the hidden effect on our life, and how does it connect to your personal development? How does it connect to like any tools that you desire to, let's say, use? It would, in which many ways it would limit you. Okay. Moment. Great. So the first thing is, you are an infinite being, and your very nature is a continuous expansion. You may not sense it, but it has many signs in our everyday life. For example, every time when you laugh, every time when you go through a period when you sense that things are working well, you are happy, your body is sort of like bubbly, energetic, and you feel so good. And all things in your life starts to get better and better. And and this is sort of like the physical signs in your environment that you are in expansion mode. And this is your natural mode. This is the very true nature of the infinite being who you are. And we do this exercise oftentimes to expand out with the infinite being you are. And as you expand, you claim and own that expanded space. And you keep expanding and you keep functioning from a greater space, like financially, like your relationship with your body, your health. In all areas of your life, you get better and you have like a greater space. And in a greater space, you have more ease and you have more access to energy, information, skills, and consciousness. And so this would be the very normal, everyday functioning of us, of everyone on the planet. This would be. And this is why I asked, like, I hope that you remember you had such situations in your life when you went through such expansion. And you can also experience such expansion when you go and attend a class. Like you attend a bars class, a foundation class, an ESB class, any classes. And after the class, you go home. And not just home, you go back to your life. And oftentimes we say, never go back, but go forward. Don't go back to your life, but go forward. But what happens, the people around you, most of the time, they don't change. You change, you have more space, but they don't. And they get used to of who you are, your colleagues, your family, your parents, your kids, your partner, everyone around you. And they start to pull you back. They start to play the same games they did before. They start to do various forms of abuse. All these games are different forms of abuse because the main principle behind a game, like keep playing with you, playing drama, trying to pull you down, trying to tell you that you are too happy, you are too successful, and they try to make you feel that there is something wrong with your expansion that is not matching reality. So they trying to pull you back and hurting you or telling you that what is their reality, it has to be your reality. So they're trying to force you and pull you back into that low level of energy. And actually, this is abuse, because the let's say the definition of abuse is everything that people make to control you. Because the greater space you function from, you become less and less controllable for them. Because when you function from greater space, you are more energized, you are happier, you are like unstoppable. And most of the people feel, let's say, offended by that or intimidated by this. So somehow they want to take back the control over you. So they start to, and they continue to play the old games that they used to play with you. They play the old abusive games like emotional abuse or mental abuse. Like emotional abuse is one thing, like, um, if you don't do this to me, it means you don't like me. And if you do something for me that I want you to do, then I will like you. Otherwise, I'm not. This is the emotional abuse. Um, Mental abuse is that you are not smart enough, you are not clever enough or intelligent enough for such matter to understand. Like you are just a young lady or man. You are not that educated. You don't have enough life experience to understand life and what's happening. These are sentences and ways how they take away your awareness, your power. So these are disempowering you. And of course, there is physical abuse that's clear to everyone, or even sexual abuse that is also, I think, clear to everyone. And like sexual abuse also can happen in a relationship when and that's combined with emotional abuse. Let's say your partner is not sort of like giving you sex because you didn't do something, so they pull back. And so the thing is, it's an interesting part that when people start to abuse you, you start to have sort of like a response to it. That you feel yourself bad, that you did something wrong. You feel that, yeah, you feel also ashamed by your partner or by that person. You also feel guilty. And with all of these feelings, you start to become less, because naturally, when you feel guilty, when you feel wrong, when you are ashamed, you start to contract your reality. And you are an infinite being, your very nature would be the continuous expansion, but people around you, they're trying to keep having control over you, so they keep abusing you and playing these games. And most of the time, we don't even recognize these games. That's the biggest problem, because most of the time it happens in a very, mm, let's say, like silent way. We also call it like silent abuse when it's sort of like under the surface. Like the intensity of the abuse is not that high, but these are just tiny little sentences that start to sort of like hurt you. And you receive these tiny hurting sentences day by day. And you receive from the friends, from the family, from people around you, from your colleagues, every day a few from each of them, these abusive comments. And it starts to sort of like disempower you. Okay. Everyone knows who is Superman, right? Superman, that cartoon. Yeah, with the big S on the chest. And Superman had a weakness. It was kryptonite. that green crystal. And when kryptonite was put next to him, like close to him, he immediately started to lose his powers. Imagine that you are an infinite being. You have infinite capacities, amazing powers, just like Superman. And abuse is your kryptonite. Abuse make you like disempowered. It makes you lose your space that you would function from. It makes you contract yourself. So the amazing thing is that once you get get know all the different forms of abuse, you start to recognize it around you. It's like in Australia, they say it's like kangaroo balls. Kangaroo balls means that the kangaroo is sort of like a big animal, but their balls are huge. Once you see it, you cannot unsee that. So once you start to recognize that people are abusing you with their own style, with their specific methods, you start to like see it all the time. So it's sort of like one part is that you need to get educated about the different forms of abuse so that gives you that capacity of always recognize it. So at least you would know that what they are doing. It gives you more space. It gives you sort of like the possibility to choose something else. But still, when you live a life, like your whole lifetime, where you are like experiencing abuse in an everyday manner, and that's general for everyone on the planet, unfortunately, then you also lock the energy of abuse into your body. So that is also a necessary step to learn to get rid of all the abuse that you locked into the body. Because also abuse has another effect on the body, because in the body, each and every cells, each and every molecules of your body has four capacities. These four capacities are one, first, it can receive energy. Second, it can maintain energy. Third, it can forward energy. And fourth, it can generate energy. So these are the four capacities. And when abuse is locked into your body, and you can lock it into different areas of your body, what happens, that area, that tissue, or that organ, sort of like these four capacities of that organ is damaged. So maybe that tissue will not be capable to receive any more energy. It creates a big problem because like each and every tissue and organs of your body has to have continuously these four capacities in order to be in the flow of life. And like this is the one that makes your body get like aging faster, like your skin or your hair, or to get your body to break down your muscles or your tissues or anything, or different processes in the body will not work as fluently as it was before. So it's sort of like really limiting the body that you have. So that's another important part, to recognize all of the abuse that you went through and you logged into the body and get rid of it from the body, like remove it from the body. And mhm. And so, do you have any questions so far? You can type in your question or you can unmute yourself. Yes. It's like the energy that you received or that you have, you can forward it to the next cell, to the next tissue, or whatever. Like imagine that your cells, not transform. Okay. So, so imagine that like each and every cells and molecules and tissues in your body is like a dish. It's a special dish. So you can pour energy into it. So it allows you to pour energy into that. It can contain the energy so it doesn't leak, and it can forward, like if you pour out there, you can pour it out. And also, it has the capacity to generate energy by itself. It's a special dish. Um, is that, yeah? Addictive. Yes, okay. Let me talk about that. So what happens that when you lock the energy of abuse into your body, it's not just energy, it's information, like it's a program. It's not a good program. It's a program where you have wrongness, where you have shame, where you have guilt, and it's all connected about something that you have done. And you start to have that vibration in your body. So, sort of like imagine that you are a pure, clear, you have a pure and clear vibration. And then as you start to have the abuse, the vibration of abuse in your body, all the different combinations of wrongness, being judged, ashamed, becoming guilty, it's added to you and continuously vibrates in your body. And you as a being are connected to your body. Like we are very strongly connected to the body as beings. So sort of like for the being, the body is also a source of how to function in different situations. Of course, we should be the source for ourselves, not letting the body to be the source. But oftentimes, for most people, they can't sort of like separate this and function as being the source for the body. So therefore, any abuse logged into the body will also become so like a source energy for the being. So the being will have like a low level sensation of being guilty, of being ashamed, of being wrong. And this is sort of like in an unconscious level will stay with you. And it continuously keep you choosing less, continuously will keep you to not sort of like going or trying to expand beyond this because these are like glass ceilings for you, like huge gates or energetic gates that are keeping you small and contracted. And is it addictive in a way that, you sort of like, what is the space and what is the energy and what is the vibration that you are functioning from? This is what you can see. This is what you can receive. This is what you will recognize around you. So when you choose a partner, you will choose a partner based on this. A partner who can continuously make you feel like that. A partner who will make you feel ashamed or make you feel nothing, you are useless, or you are not valuable enough. Like they will sort of like never contribute to you or just a little bit. Or you will choose a workplace based on this, where your boss, your colleagues will hurt you or bully you in their own way. Even if there was another workplace where it would be great, you wouldn't choose that unconsciously, because these kind of workplaces with that energy will match your energy. And you keep continuously like you will be addicted to the similar situations and to the similar people and similar energy. So in that way, unfortunately, it is addictive. I would really, if you would like to get out of this sort of like circle that you keep living in, that things are not changing and people are hurting you or abusing you or using you, I would really recommend you to first come and join the class that we are going to have in Taipei on the 5th to the 7th of September. So we have sort of like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3.5, because the main topic of the class, one of the main topic will be like, what is abuse? What are the different forms of abuse to recognize it? And also the other topic will be how you clear all the different forms of abuse from your body, how you identify it, and how you clear it. And also, there is this part of being a victim. Like what I see that when people become a victim of these abusive actions for a long time, they sort of like start to pick up uh, the identity of a victim. Like, and of course, it has many layers of that. But because of this addictive energy of, of abuse, they will always find their abusers. And we need to get out of that energy, of that state, or that role of being a victim. So there is also a process for the body for this. And also what I mentioned, that we sort of like limit the body's capacity to receive with abuse because of all the different forms of abuse that was logged into the body. And also there is a body process for to sort of like activate your body's receiving capacity. So it's a huge transformation. And that means like when you go back to your real life, you will recognize abusive people. You will recognize the situations that are abusive. You will recognize in which situations you become the victim. Like the victimhood is turned on in you. And also you will have these tools to clear from the body and also like the abuse, change the victimhood, and also to activate your body's receiving capacity. And also there is a special treatment and clearings about toxic relationships. Most of the toxic relationships are partnership, like romantic relationships. And when you get at least just one toxic partner and you break up, it will have the remnants in your body, in your energy, in your whole reality, in your thought patterns. And that also has to be cleared, because otherwise you will choose the same kind of partner. Like you will not see the red flags. You will not see those signs that would help you to recognize that this person is not going to be a great partner in a relationship. You know, this is a red flag, something that will alert you, like actions they take, sentences they say, the way they and the mood they are in, that would tell you that would make you aware that something is wrong with this person. They would be abusive sooner or later with you. This is what we call a red flag. And you know, when you clear all of that, when you work with that energy, that clearing, that process on your body about the toxic relationships and about all the lies attached to toxic relationships that you bought into, then it also will contribute to you to become free of all these effects. So you can choose someone, a great relationship, like you can find that person, because otherwise you would not select such person because of this addictive type of energy. Because anything that is sort of like added to your vibration, like implanted into the vibration, it will become your source through your body. And from that moment, you keep choosing similar energy, similar situations, and similar people. Okay. And of course, you can use these processes for your family, for your clients. So if you are really sort of like would like to contribute to people for them to get out of the prison of abuse, then you will have sort of like a wide range of tools and information and clearings to work with them to really allow your clients to get out of this prison, of this contracted space of abuse and being a victim. Any question we have? How to prevent of being abused, I think, maybe. Okay. What I mentioned is you can prevent when you have all these tools, when you can finally recognize that what people are doing to you around you. You really need to sort of recognize what is abuse and the different forms of abuse. It's great. Like you have to have the body processes in order to be able to work on yourself, on your body, on your being, work on all these abusive energetic imprints in your space, in your reality, and also get rid of the victimhood so they can't do it again with you, and also like activating your body's receiving capacity again. So it will sort of like start to empower you. Like with these processes, you start to empower yourself and you will recognize the people who are abusive with you. And over time, you can change your energy, your energetic imprint, and it will be clear, like no more abusive resonance or vibration. So you will not make choices to invite such people into your life. So this is how you can prevent yourself to get rid of it from your body, from your being, from your reality. And so this is quite a specific energy and it requires quite a specific treatment, but it's possible, it's available. And the great thing is that it will contribute to your consciousness and to your awareness. We also deal with gaslighting, if you heard about this kind of abusive energy. Maybe you have seen the movie itself, Gaslighting. And actually, it's very valid. It happens in everyday life. It happens with most of the people. It's a mm, it's a very, let's say, unfortunately, intelligent way of abusing each other. So what will it take to recognize all different forms of abuse? Like, are you choosing to join the class? Learn all of this. Like, it will expand your space. It will expand the space that you are functioning from, and you start to recognize all past and present abuse that you went through and the abusive people. And also, you will have tools in your hands to remove it from your body, from your energetic reality as well. And also, you can deal with the rest as well. So I think we will share the registration form so people can register for the class. It's happening on the 5th to the 7th of September. So it's the first weekend of September. Really looking forward to everyone joining us. And it's going to be 3 days, 3 whole days. What else we should share about it? Uh, four. All, all focusing on, yeah, I will tell you what. So, yeah, so one is about dealing with different forms of abuse. The another one is about dealing with being a victim and changing that. Because, and that's also focusing on um, taking back your capacity of choosing. Because when you are contracted, from a contracted space, you don't even have the capacity to choose. So this is why victims are like easy targets for abusers, because a victim can't see that they could choose something else. So it's easy to lead them into all these abusive games and plays. And then we have a body process for activating the body's receiving capacity. And also the last one, the fourth one, is about the toxic relationships. Like clearing all the different remnants and effects of toxic relationships from the body and the being. Uh, because of the body processes, it would be great to attend physically. So everyone can join and enjoy the body process. Yeah, we can join with the baby. Babies have, it's also a contribution to the baby. It's not a problem at all. Of course, it's free of charge for the babies, and hopefully it would be so like it would create ease, not just for the mother, but also for the baby in the future. Like in which many ways it will be a contribution for the future of the baby. So they are welcome, very welcome attending the class. It will be a lovely, yeah, it will be lovely. I'm pretty sure. Guangzhou. Uh-huh. Though Taiwan is not that big. It's not as huge as other huge countries. What if she has some relatives in Taipei so she could stay with them for the time of the class, like visiting relatives and friends? So I would really recommend for people who would like to change their life, and also recommend for people who are practitioners and would like to add this additional layer or additional dimension of tools for their practice. In which many ways it can be a contribution. Actually, I received many feedback about the class that certain illnesses and symptoms disappeared from their body after the class because it was linked to abuse. Actually, the origin of the abuse class is connected to the acoustic body class that I was facilitating in Beijing in 2017. Yeah, November. And there was a lady who had issues with her eyesight. And when I started to facilitate her, like she had very thick glasses that she was wearing. She was around 30 years old. And like she had problems with seeing to the distance, and also she had problems with seeing, like reading. So both at the same time. And when I started to facilitate her, what happened, she realized that when she was a child, her parents were quarreling with each other, like fighting a lot in front of her eyes. And they were always like 6, 7 meters from her. And she looked the energy of this fight, of this abusive quarreling into her eyes. And that was blocking her eyesight. And within like 10, 15 minutes, they removed this. And then she took off the glasses and she said, now I can see clearly to the distance with no issues. Without glasses, she could see clearly to the distance, but she still had a problem with her eyesight seeing, like reading a book. And then we went further and cleared that part. And then she started to cry very loudly, and the memory came up that when she was a child, around 10 years old, like a student, one of a family member, like an uncle or someone, was sexually abusing her. And you know, when someone is sexually abusing you, it comes very close to your face. It's like the distance of reading a book. So we remove this energy, this impact from the body, and then suddenly she said, okay, now I can read clearly. I can see all the whole thing, all the writings, everything. I can read. And this whole, like these two sessions took altogether like 30 minutes. It happened during the class and it all disappeared. So, after that, she was not wearing the glasses. She was happy and all went well for her. And actually, then we start like as a result of this, together with the class participants, we sent like a contribution energy to change like child abuse like everywhere in China. And then we went back home. At that time, we were living in New Zealand. And the next day, we started to receive messages from the people who attended the class, and they reported that um, now in the news, they talk about that in a childcare, like, you know, like, in an early childhood educator place, um, the, the the adults were sexually and in other ways they were abusing kids. And now police, the government, all government agencies everywhere in China, they are focusing on it to remove it, to clear it out from all education institutes, from childcare education, from primary school, from high school, and so on. Yeah. So it is something that can really affect people's life. So what contribution it can be when we will have this class now in Taipei, like in which many ways it can contribute. And yeah, what is the topic that we would like to change for Taiwan, or that is somehow relates to Taiwan, or somehow relates like specific to your life, to your local reality? What contribution we can be to all of that? In which many ways we can have an effect on the whole country's life? What do you choose? Mhm. I would say, oh yeah, okay. I would say just tap into the energy. If this will be a contribution, just look into that. If this will contribute to your life, if this will add anything to what you already know, like spending 3 days with us, with running these processes, like gifting and receiving, learning new information, like expanding your consciousness in the topic. So how much it would contribute to your body, or it would contribute to your being and the space that you function from, with yourself, with others, and what they are functioning from with you. So in which many ways it can contribute. Just look it for yourself. Yes, it has a Chinese translated manual, and everyone receives the recordings, of course. No prerequisites. No. Like if anyone would like to go deeper into the topic of abuse, and also deeper with um, how much of their symptoms or illnesses can be removed or cleared once they clear the effects of abuse from the body. So in which many ways it can change things for the body, for the being, how much it can help you to expand the space that you are functioning from. If you really wish to be so like unstoppable, start to enjoy your life. What can it contribute to you? Have that sensation of continuous expansion, like being happy, enjoying your life, enjoying your body, not letting any abusers to ever bother you, like choosing like healthy relationships, healthy partner, having fun around you, and going towards your dreams, like making your dreams come true. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So it's different for everyone. It's not a must to bring to the surface the memory. Like it's not necessary to go through something that was unkind and uncomfortable for you in the past, because all of these as well energetically are in the body and in the being. So with these processes, it can be gently cleared. If if you have to go through, you will go through it anyway, but it's not a must. So not everyone goes through, but anyway, the process is helping them to get it cleared. So it's not linked to that thing that you have to go through or not. It's all about that it will be cleared from the body and the being, and you start to have more and more and more ease. Because the other part, with that part of clearing the victimhood, that if we just bring up the memory and clear it, you still will function from victimhood and you will look to the past that, oh my God, what happened to me? And because of what happened to me, I cannot break out free from this thing. But we also manage that part as well for your total freedom. Thank you for the question. Do we have anything else we should address? And actually, if anyone has a question, like after the class, you can turn to Mia or Claire with your questions, and they will be happy to respond to you and contribute to all your questions. And you can start making your registration, making the payments, and yeah, to register your place at the class. There was a question of how abusers and victims can reverse roles in a relationship, like it was one of the questions in the registration form. And there was another question, if such person exists in your life, like an abuser, how can you fight back? Yeah. If so, if in your relationship there are these roles of abuser and victim, how can you so like switch it, swap roles? become the abuser from the victim and make the abuser the victim? This was one of the questions. And another one was, if such person exists in your life, how can you fight back? So one part is that, oh, abuse causes PTSD. Yeah, because of this addictive nature of it, it will always take you back to that moment, to that energy. So that's also attached to it. Yeah. So, like, I know that how many people get abused in many ways, financially, sexually, mentally, emotionally, gaslighted. And oftentimes, when you get abused, you start to abuse yourself as well. So there is self-abuse even, which is even worse. You make yourself wrong for your choices, for things you have done, for things you haven't done that you should have done. That's also a result of, or how you say, um, trying to be perfect. Like perfectionism is a self-abuse. Because if something is not perfect that you have done, you start to hurt yourself. But perfectionism comes from being abused, let's say in childhood, when the parents' expectations were too high and they were not present emotionally, they were not available emotionally. And also there is this part, like many victims become like people pleasers. So imagine the situation that you grow up in a family where you don't receive love and caring, and you always have to stay calm and quiet. Like your needs, your emotional needs are never attended, never responded by your parents, by your family. And you grow up in such space, then later on you will become a people pleaser. That means you always try, like you will always focus on what other peoples have as needs, and you're trying to match their needs because you learn that as a child, you always, so like first you had to make people happy, like your parents happy, and then they gave you some nice words or they were kind to you only at that times. And imagine that if you also grow up and you don't get, let's say as a woman, the kindness, the caring from your father, and then um, you always sense that you are sort of like detached from your father, and then you will look for a partner who will be also detached from you, and or you will detach yourself from the partner. So you never learn how to be in a generative relationship with your partner. There will be always this distance between you and your partner. And also, you will not feel good in a relationship, and your partner will not feel good in a relationship. But because the partner will never receive the kindness and caring from you that a relationship is about. So oftentimes, people who grow up in let's say emotionally or mentally or in whichever defective families or abusive families, because so abuse doesn't have to always be like a high intensity abuse. There is abuse that just low intensity that happens like in an invisible way in your everyday life that also builds up over time, and also it transforms of who you are. It's like diminishing your receiving capacity. And imagine that all those people who grow up in these families will find each other and they will fight for the kindness and caring that they never received from their parents. One of them will be a people pleaser who does everything for their partner just to get a little bit of love. And another one will be detached from the partner, so will never give that love. And both will sort of like fight a lot because one of them will be sort of like this um, energy of, I want you, I want more, I want your love. And another one always want to keep a distance. So from one side, they know what they desire, but on the other side, because of this toxic, addictive pattern, they can't get out of the relationship because this is the kind of a sensation they get used to as children. This is what they grown up in energy. And I wouldn't sort of like go into that direction of how to fight back to an abusive person. In itself, an abusive person wants to have control. And once you recognize who they are, and once you start to be happy and live your own life, the abusive person loses their control over you. And that is the biggest fight back, because it will make them, really reactive, really collapse. Because how dare you are not, you know, not letting them control you. And also what, yeah, so once you are free from all effects of abuse, and like, as you walk on that path and work on yourself and run these clearings and processes, you sort of like naturally become, I say, prevented or immune to such people in your life. And you start to choose happiness, start to choose healthy people, people who are joyful, who are also looking for expansion. They are also expanding. They are laughing a lot. They are enjoying life. And yeah, this is what we all would like to have such relationships, to have such friendships, to have such collaborating partners, to have ease, joy, and glory, and start creating a different future. This is, and hope this is not just a dream, but people can really do it. And people can really start to form these kind of relationships when finally they are not affected by any forms of abuse. Cool. So I think we finished for today. And we are really excited about this class. It's happening in Taipei on the 5th to the 7th of September. And please make your registrations. Don't wait with that. And with your registration, you also commit, you show, and you express your choice. So allow this energy to keep growing. Like, is this a cause in your life that worth uh, working towards and adding a greater space to it? Because this is you. This is about your expansion, to remove all abuse and finally allow yourself to keep continuously expanding and becoming the unstoppable you that you truly be. So thank you so much for Claire and Mia and for everyone joining us. And we will soon send out the recordings for all of you so you can watch it back or listen back in both languages. And what else is really possible? And wish you to have an amazing night and enjoy your time. And hope to see you all in Taipei just 3.5 weeks time. Cool. All right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.